Buddies, Reggie's 4-barrel ice cream. With me, your host, is always Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Matt Zombie Dog Super Bowl Dykes.
Yeah, I've got Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Ah.
Yeah,
I mean, I've probably got Super Balls
owl.
if you ask some.
Of course. The balls jokes are never ending on Reggie's 4-barrel ice cream. We also have Joel Bowling Ball DeWitte.
I don't know why that made me laugh so much. I think it's the way you said bowling ball.
Yeah.
Bowling ball.
You know, I got nothing. Like, I'm trying to think. There's no context to this whatsoever, is it?
Oh, well, I mean, Phantasm balls. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
This is very your name is the name of the movie kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. And and I'm very proud of it. Because why wouldn't I be? So here we are, week 2 of the Phantasm series. Sorry, I will mention now, because I can't go back in time and mention it, that we did end up skipping a week in between What We Do in the Shadows and Phantasm, but scheduling just made sense, and my time in editing is it's a clusterfuck, so trying to get it all done takes time. But now we're back on our weekly schedule, I say with fingers crossed, and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna let Matt kind of lead as much as I can. Although as soon as I say that, I know I'm never gonna stop talking, and it's just gonna completely fail. But I know he likes this movie way more than I do. So Matt, why don't you get us going? Like, set the stage. How are we doing with Phantasm 2?
Well, I absolutely love this one. So for me, this is the first one I saw. It was on like BBC One, really late at night sometime, and I think I didn't even see it from the beginning. Like I remember flicking over to the channel and seeing the first bit I saw was the explosion of the house the second time.
I was gonna say, which one?
The second time, and then the dissolve to Reggie at the cemetery. Now I had a vague idea of the tall man and things like that, and I actually thought that Reggie was the tall man in the sunglasses. Because he looks quite sinister in that shot.
Or he doesn't look very tall though.
Well, I know, but he's sitting down, it's a very good, it's a close up. But then, because it was quite late at night, so I actually recorded it, and the recording actually cut off the end of it as well. So I hadn't seen all of the beginning of the film and all of the end of the film. It cut off where the car starts sort of going from side to side on the road, but it was just a wild ride. The minute that they would go into that hardware store, the first time watching it, I was like, this is great. I mean, even the shot just after the funeral, where it cuts and you see the close up of the car wheel go in, and that whole thing. I thought this is really that's such a cool shot. I like how this is shot, and then it just kept going, and the music as well. So yeah, and then I watched it through, and then at the time, Anchor Bay had just released the 4-film DVD special edition with
with the ball and everything.
Yep, the ball.
Yeah.
I ordered that off Amazon. That came through. I watched the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. Then I watched the documentary that was about all the 4 films. Then I went right back and watched the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one again over a weekend or something. Absolutely just absorbing all these films and just being blown away by how different each one is as well. Each one has this sort of different feel to it, I think. And yeah, I've just always loved Phantasm 2. The music score, I think, is the best of all of them. It's a bit more actiony rather than creepy. But I've always really liked just how it's shot as well. It feels, to say that it was the lowest budget film that Universal released that year, it feels like a much bigger budget film. And I think that's credited down to Don Coscarelli. It being the biggest budget he'd ever dealt with as well.
Well, and it's also, I mean, compared to the rest of the Phantasm movies, far and away the highest budget out of
Well,
the
yeah.
franchise. So when we're comparing them to the rest of the movies, of course it feels very high budget because the rest of them were made for peanuts.
But just generally,
This one had like $30 million
though,
behind it.
I mean, there's only 4 million.
Was it only 4?
Yeah.
I always heard 30. So wow.
What's
No,
that
no, no,
adjusted
so-
for inflation?
No, so it was $4 million budget, but the scripts that Don Coscarelli originally wrote would have needed 30 million for Phantasm 2. That's one of the things I read or saw in one of the documentaries. But yeah, it was $4 million budget. So, like I said, like minute budget. Even in 1988, that's a small budget for a really effects-laden film.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just loved it. Like, I loved just the feel of it. Like, you know, Reggie's narration throughout. Like, narration can be done really badly. See Blade Runner. And then sometimes it can add something to it. And I think it feels more like a road movie, and it feels more like, you know, this actual hunt, I guess, because of the voiceover. And I just thought it really worked for me.
See, now I'm gonna wait. Joel, how did your viewing go?
I struggle with this.
Phantasm in general or Phantasm 2?
Well, both, but especially this. So I was telling you, like, I try to give some time for these to breathe a little bit because I'm trying to be more intentional about how I watch this because it's such a bizarre thing. It might be because my first introduction to it was the first movie. Tonally, it seems off. I think that's compared to the first one. I'm gonna make a comparison, but it's not quite as glowing as I mean it. The first one is the first Resident Evil movie, and this is Resident Evil 2. Where
Resident Evil 2 is a much better movie.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's where I say the comparison isn't quite apt. I didn't not enjoy it. Let's put it that way. I think there's some neat and funny things that happen in this movie and absurd, and I think there are parts of it that definitely feel in line with the first one. Despite its disjointedness in some parts of this film, it feels like a more structured story, right? I mean, they still expect you to infer a lot between story beats, but it still has a lot more structure to it in a way that the first one I felt was all over the place. And while I was confused and lost in the first one, there's some sort of charm to that, I think, in that it feels sort of its time in a way. So I fall on the side of I enjoyed watching it. I'm not sure if I liked it as much as the first one, and I'm still trying to reconcile why.
So I'll dive in. I'll go as briefly as I can because we'll spend the rest of the episode kind of going through the movie and saying what works and doesn't work for us. I think if I'm not counting this as a Phantasm movie, I probably would enjoy it a lot more because it is just kind of a fun 80s road-esque, hunt down the bad guy sort of movie. But I look at it strictly in the world of Phantasm, and this is going to be the weirdest insult ever for a movie. I think it's too good to be a Phantasm movie. Like there's a certain level of quality I'm looking for in these things that just kind of bring that camp. Like, it's just that underfunded, underacted, just not quite sure what the fuck we're doing charm that you lose when you put it through the actual studio system. And although they made a very good movie here, not very good, they made a pretty good movie here that's fun, has a good score. I like the first one better, but there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. But I'm like, it just doesn't feel like it feels like, what if a major studio made a Phantasm movie? Yeah, this is exactly what I'd expect it to be, for better or worse. It's a well-made movie. It's incredibly well shot. They look at the balls from the first movie, and if you watch the version I did, they just go, all right, let's just up all that, and they're like, this is way more violent, way crazier. It's like they hit everything you're supposed to hit for a horror movie sequel, which is fine. But it doesn't feel like Phantasm to me. Like, because Phantasm doesn't feel... Phantasm to me, and part of the reason I love Phantasm so much, is because it's kind of the anti-horror franchise. All what the other horror franchises do, they turn left, and Phantasm's like, I'm going to go up. It's like, fuck, you're right. I'm just going to do whatever the hell I'm going to do. And it's awesome. But this is the one movie out of the entire franchise that kind of falls in line with what you expect from horror sequels. So as though it does it very well, I don't want it.
I think Matt sort of touched on a point in his description where it makes him love it, but it makes me sort of mixed, and it makes you dislike it. And it is that it switched from this sort of horror, creepy movie to an action movie.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the Rorschach test for whether or not you like this as much as the first one.
Yeah,
and I think it depends on which order you see them in. Like, if you see the first one first, you're going to be expecting more of that. Now, I went in completely blind to this series, having only seen, like, images of Angus Scrimm, of the Tall Man. So, like, even then, I had in my head this imagined thing of, like, what the Tall Man was. And how, like, you know, I imagined, you know, this whole sort of thing just from these images I'd seen of the Tall Man. And then going into Phantasm 2, it then builds more on that, like, you know, this is what I imagine it to be. So I think going into it seeing Phantasm 2 first, I enjoy it a lot more because I'm not expecting, you know, like, I sort of go back and watch Phantasm 1 now, and I can see how it leads into 2, of, like, you know, yeah, it makes sense to me that they would want to go down and hunt the Tall Man down. And I think if I saw the first one first, it may be different. It may be more like, oh, well, I wouldn't expect it to go in that direction, and it does feel more like just a standard sequel. But I think for me, I don't know. I think it does probably matter which order you see the films in regards to, like, which is your favorite.
Matt's the kind of guy to watch Iron Man 3 and then wonder why the first one isn't a allegory for PTSD. I mean, no, I do what you mean, though. It's for me, like, Persona 5 is, like, my example. I never touched a Persona. Persona 5 I fell in love with. I've tinkered with 4, but it doesn't have that same kind of feel and polish. And so with that different expectation, it's hard to go back or have a opinion in line with what maybe the series history is, right?
Oh, that example was way too real for me, Joel. That was perfect. Yeah, no, and it's like it's kind of interesting. Like, you know, I think the best way to move forward is actually just to move forward. Let's actually start kind of going through the movie, and I think a lot of these points will start making more sense. Because, like, the first thing for me, and one of the major pushing points, and I did a lot of research going through subreddits, movie forums and stuff for this one, just trying to see, like, what's the meter on this? Like, where do other fans sit? And the big thing that some people, like, are willing to die on a hill for is who's better at playing Mike. Is it James LaGrosse or is it A. Michael Baldwin? I know where I land in that camp because, you know, he's in 4 of them instead of just this one. And I don't really like James LaGrosse in this movie. He could be an amazing actor for sure. But, like, right out of the gate, like, that's your major difference is they hired a legit actor for this franchise. And
I mean, to be fair, we're lucky we didn't get Jeffrey Tambor as Reggie, because that's what the studio wanted.
That was so close too, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I get Jeffrey Tambor could have done it quite well, but for me, Reggie is Reggie. Like, you know, like, no one else can do what Reggie Bannister does in that character. No,
and I'm curious if they had recast him, if Reggie would have still become the main character of the franchise. I don't think so. Personally,
no,
I think him.
I don't think the franchise would have continued.
Yeah, no,
I don't think we'd have had a third one because, like, they wouldn't have got Jeffrey Tambor back, and they didn't get James LaGrosse back for the third one.
Well, they didn't want him back, like.
Well, yeah, but though, I mean, to be fair, I think they did. Like the way that they talk about it was like, you know, because the budget went down, they couldn't really afford so. Don Coscarelli had a bit more control and was able to bring back Michael Baldwin.
That sounds like they wanted him back.
Well,
he had more control and was able to bring back the guy he wanted. Sounds like that's the guy he wanted.
Less money, more control. So they couldn't afford James LaGrosse again. So he felt like, oh, now I can bring Michael Baldwin back. But if the second one had have had both of those characters recast, there's no way that you can go back and do the third one and replace both the characters.
I mean, without it just being like, all right, just don't watch 2. 2 doesn't count. Like, R2 is number 3. Like, that'd really be the only way they could do it, which they kind of, I mean, they don't do that specifically, but these are the only two that released in theaters are Phantasm 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5 were all straight to video. So they were definitely doing their own thing.
Oh, really? I thought 3 went out in theaters.
From what I could read, no, that one went straight to video here. And it's like, you can tell. I love 3, but you can tell. But let's start diving into this thing. We kind of got James LeGros out of the way. He's a very good actor. I want a Michael Baldwin back.
It could have been Brad Pitt as well.
That would have been worse. So the opening of this movie picks up immediately at the end of the first movie. Like Reggie's in there listening to the radio, playing a different song on guitar just for Joel's ears. Michael goes upstairs. He gets kidnapped by the tall man who screams "boy" at him, and the movie's off and going. And here we are in part 2, and Reggie has to go find a shotgun and fight people, and the house explodes, and it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's a dwarf hiding in one of the cupboards. I mean,
That's amazing.
I always find that hilarious that he's going through all the drawers to find something. He opens a cupboard and a fucking dwarf jumps out at him. It's like, so wait, was that dwarf just standing in there waiting?
Yes, one dwarf when they're going to the house is like, you know what, guys, I got this. I'm gonna go hide in the cabinet.
That's some real self-control for that thing. Like you
Right?
figure they're kind of brainless things the entire time, and wow, that one is just like, I'm gonna sit here and plot this out, and it's gonna be so good, and then all my friends will think how cool I am.
The thing is, it's like the door's open and immediately jumps out as well. So it's like, the door's start up. It's like, it's go time.
I am so ready for this.
So like one of the things that I notice is that there are pieces of this movie, and this is definitely one of them, where it feels more like a zombie movie.
Yeah,
Like the little small people monsters chasing them around, sort of hovering around and being just these things that you need to fight off. It feels very Dawn of the Dead-ish in that way, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like it's just totally different in a way that I don't love.
The tone of this movie is just night and day different from the first movie. Like even in my notes, I took 3 pages of notes on this thing. In my notes, about halfway through, I'm like, this just doesn't feel like the same franchise.
Can we talk quickly about the explosions?
Oh, we have to. So my notes go like this. So when they're running through the house and Reggie's carrying around some guy who's not Michael, and they're just like, don't show his face.
It's a woman. It's a woman in a wig.
Is it a woman? That makes sense. So my note is, haha, not Mike. And then they're outside, it's boom. And then I have 2 notes, and then it's boom again, motherfuckers.
What's great about that is that explosion, it's the same explosion, and they shot it from like 3 different angles, and it was so timed precisely because everything had to be right. So you've got a double of Reggie in the car with James LeGros as Mike. You've got Reggie running away towards the camera with double of Mike, and then you've got the tall man walking away, and it's all shot all simultaneously. And they
just like doubled it for Reggie's family's house.
Well, it's supposed to be Reggie's family's house because like that's the thing of it. That house exploding didn't happen as well.
Oh, right.
Because because Reggie doesn't remember it all. And then he's like, that story, like one of the lines is something like, that story about me blowing my house up because it was infested with midgets.
The first 5 minutes of this movie blow by so fucking fast.
Yeah.
This goes back to being the action movie kind of thing where Reggie is like surrounded because he used his ammo, and then he's lighting the pilot light on the oven to fill the place with gas, and then does the whole cool like, I'm gonna run out of the building with the explosion happening behind me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it is you know what, I'll give this. It was cool and hilarious. Just you get to think like, is that the way a house would blow up if it were filled with? I mean, my
Who
mind
cares?
I'm pretty sure you just ruined your kitchen.
Yeah, I'm just to be kind of like a boom inside, and they see things light up. But like,
the thing is, it's the fireplace in the living room that actually sets it off. So the gas has got to go from the kitchen into the living room.
Yeah.
So it'd be quite a lot of it in there.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't be there's a crater where a house used to be. It wouldn't be that.
Yeah, like
Well, no, it wouldn't be that.
The size of the flame is like double the house.
So there is a story about the house explosion. So like, they bought it for $500 because it was near an airport somewhere. All these houses need to be demolished because they were extending a runway or something like that. So there was a load of houses that were being demolished. So they bought it for $500. It was a one-story house that they built a second story on. The fire marshal who was there was trying to limit the amount of explosives they could do because it was so close to an airport. And then until he actually asked what it was for, and there was like, oh, it's Phantasm 2, and he was actually a fan of the first Phantasm.
Oh, that's funny.
And he just went, oh, blow the shit out of it. Like, so all of a sudden he didn't care. But they had a 5-minute window to blow the house up as well because of the incoming and outgoing flights as well. So everything had to be timed so precisely on that.
I just assumed that the explosion was so large they had to time it with where the planet was in the solar system to not knock it off its orbit.
I mean, potentially as well. But yes, that's why the explosion's so big as well, because basically the fire marshal like, oh yeah, blow the shit out of it. So they put everything that they brought in there, and it was full of primacord, gunpowder, like propane, everything. They had every type of explosive you can use on a film set. They had that house full of it.
I pray to God that somebody on set after the explosion went, think you used enough dynamite there, Butch? One person didn't make the Butch Cassidy reference. I'd be very disappointed.
Well,
I imagine that Don Coscarelli may have made that joke. Just the type of person that he is. He seems very keyed in with films.
Yeah.
The higher budget had to go somewhere. I mean, might as well not explosions. Like,
yeah.
It
goes up in flames.
One thing that kind of took me by surprise in this movie starting out was the whole like only Mike remembers all the stuff that happened. And then, like, having the therapist scene and him, they do that thing where, like, they're making him seem like he's disassociating and not able to parse out dreams from reality thing, right? And they do that thing again where in the first movie, his brother needed the evidence before he finally believed him. And same thing with Reggie. Like, Reggie needed his whole family blown to smithereens before he took his word for it.
Well, I think what it is, it's the fact that Mike tries to warn him just before. And it's like, Mike knew. So it's like, yeah, he's right.
Yeah. And like, it's such a weird thing to do with a movie where it's like, here's your main character, it's Reggie, and his family was in there. You never met him. You don't even know what they look like. But they're there. They're dead now. So aren't you sad? It's a weird choice, but I get it. This movie is being very economical with its time. Unlike our podcast, we're spending half the episode on just the first 10 minutes. But like this movie did the exact opposite, which makes sense why we're diving into it so much, because they're just like, here's a handful of shit, we're moving past it. Like by this point in the movie, we're a third of the way in. If we're talking like our podcast time, like we've moved so far past this, but it's kind of why this movie's kind of fascinating. What the hell was the plan?
I mean, I think that's why I kind of love it a little bit, because the way it just sort of like, it does take your expectations and throws them out the window. Like is what you're
to be fair, all the Phantasm movies do that pretty well.
Yeah, so that's why I like it, and that's why I think I like it so much, because it follows suit with the rest of them. The rest of the Phantasm films really do, like, you think that's what you thought with Phantasm films? Oh, we're going to change it up again. Yeah. Like, 3 is really comedic.
Oh, yeah, 3 takes the funny parts in 2, which there are quite a few of. 2's willing to be campy. Yeah. And they really run with that, which is... Yeah. We'll get into 3.
We'll get into 3. Don't want to spoil it too much for Joe, but I just, give him, like, an expectation that it's a lot funnier.
Yeah.
And then you have, with 4, going back to the creepiness, and then 5, just insane.
Yeah. But let's stick in 2. So we're done with the explosions, and now we have, as my notes say, let's tool up sequence where they go to the hardware store.
I love that scene.
That's another zombie movie thing, though, right?
Oh, it's such a Sam Raimi moment, and like you even have Sam Raimi like as like a cameo, if you will, like his name is in stuff. Like there's a lot of like. they're having fun with other horror franchises here. And the thing is, and I just want to bring this up now because it's a story through my notes. They do the Let's Tool Up scene. The first thing they pick up is a fucking chainsaw. And I just wrote down my notes.
Yep.
Oh, chainsaw, of course.
Yeah.
And then my note, like 3 seconds down, the first thing they needed was the chainsaw. Like, the first thing they do in their mission, halfway again down the notes later on, what a useful chainsaw. Like, they're using it everywhere they go. It's not a weapon, it's just a tool. I was like, I've never seen a horror movie do this. I need my chainsaw.
Well, to be fair,
To cut things, to get into buildings, to use it as a tool. Like, wait, really?
It's very practical.
They pick up a shitload of like spades and digging implements before they get to the weapons counter, which I still find that hilarious. That you've got all these guns and then the chainsaws are next to it. Like, what hardware store has guns and chainsaws so close to each other?
The ones in Phantasm.
Yeah.
And probably Resident Evil.
One thing I love, a little detail I love about this scene is they leave money in the register.
Yeah.
Like they are not thieves. They are just late night shoppers. So
Yeah. And actually in the audio commentary, it's a long time since I listened to the audio commentary, but I remember Don Coscarelli mentioning that in the audio commentary, basically saying I didn't want people to think like, you know, yes, they are sort of like, you know, they probably would end up being wanted criminals for the stuff that they end up doing, but he didn't want the audience to think that they were bad guys in any way. So like he had them pay, they pay for everything.
Right. I mean,
that they took.
It's one of those things. Like, we're not in a world of societal collapse where like
not yet.
Store on the side. Shut up.
Next week. It's next week.
Where a store on the side of the road is just an abandoned place with goods that you can sort of pilfer, right? So it is sort of a nice detail that keeps it grounded, even just a tiny bit.
I mean, it's like, if you compare it to Commando, you know, the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Commando, where he steals, like, he basically steals all that stuff from the store and he doesn't pay for it. Like, you know, it is that sort of difference of actually, yeah, no, these guys are 100% good. There's no bad bone in their bodies. They are just trying to save the world and help people. They're not
just they're taking down the tall man. They're being good guys. In case in point, that effect worked on Chewie when we were watching it. We haven't gotten to Bye Bye Chewie yet. She did pass out partway through the movie, but she's like, "Oh, cool! These guys are just robbing the store," and then they leave money. She's like, "Oh, look at that!" So, it worked perfect.
Yeah.
But
they don't even break anything in the store as well. So like to get in, they just flip the little thing off.
There's two notes that I have to make before we get out of this scene. This is where the 4-barrel shotgun is introduced with 2 + 2 = badass.
Yep.
Chewie took one look at that and just immediately shouts out, "How the hell do you shoot that?" So it's a fair point and not a question this movie has any urge to answer. Fucking 4-barrel shotgun. We'll get to it when we get to it.
It's the way as well that he picks up the one double-barrel shotgun, and then the other one comes in from the other side, and he sort of looks at it, and there's that look in his face like, I have an idea.
Why has no one done this?
And it, like, from when you see it like throughout the film, like the shots, he's literally duct taped the 2 shotguns together, like at the grip.
Yeah, and then the whole time you're like, oh, he's gonna shoot that thing. He's gonna do it. One of these days, he's gonna shoot it, and then
it's like
just
all those shotgun shells, and he shoots it once.
Like, oh my god,
it's
like you're playing Doom, and you get like one shot for your BFG, and you accidentally use it on some peon bad guy. You're like, well, that was worthless. That's Reggie with his 4-barrel shotgun. But you know, whatever.
I mean, he takes out 4 dwarves with it.
So much we'll get to the shotgun.
Yeah, I just had to get there. We're talking about it. I'm so annoyed. I'll take the quarter gun from Resident Evil any day over the 4-barrel shotgun in this movie specifically.
He's just so disappointed looking too when it...
Yeah, he's like, oh, and then he just throws it away.
Yes.
He's like,
I'm not gonna reload that thing.
He did get all his ammo like cut by the guy with the chainsaw.
I guess
we're jumping way ahead though. Now.
Yeah, we are. Let's go back. So we're done with the tulip scene. They're moving on. Now we're kind of getting into the world of the tall man a little bit. We're in the is it the mausoleum?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or is it like a morgue?
It's
There's
like,
a dead
I think
naked lady on a
It is
table.
a mausoleum with a morgue in.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Some dead naked lady on the table, which interesting. Dead naked lady, you see everything she was born with. Dead naked guy later, let's cover him up. We don't want to see any penises. Gotta love the 80s in filmmaking.
Yeah. I have a feeling that Don Coscarelli would have wanted everything from the guy as well. And I have a feeling that would be some sort of studio note.
Yeah. Penis!
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyhow, and this is one of the few scenes that actually feels like a horror movie. Like, most of the movie feels very actiony, but this one actually does kind of like, we have like the dead lady that disappears. We have, they're walking around with their tools. Like, just got to throw it out there. How does Mike not burn himself? That flamethrower is licking his hand the whole movie. Like, how does he not just have like 3rd-degree burns on his hand? But either way, that's a legit filmmaking-ask question. I don't know how the actor didn't hurt himself.
Gloves?
But he wasn't wearing gloves.
He was wearing that cool helmet face mask. Though.
Yeah, he was wearing his welding mask,
Yes.
which God knows how he's seeing through it. But his hands
Yeah, the
are
welding
there.
mask thing I didn't get. Like, but no,
Well, in all fairness, I don't think he
gloves.
never killed anything with that, right?
Nobody uses it. Like, he tests it. Like, he's standing there looking cool with his long sleeve tee tucked into his jeans and his flamethrower.
Yeah, I'm just
He
saying.
lights a fireplace.
That's why
Yeah.
he hasn't, because he's wearing that stupid helmet.
The helmet's protecting his bare hands.
The funny thing is, well,
You know, it's Phantasm. I'll go with it. That makes sense.
I've never thought of it that way, but the only person who actually kills anyone or destroys anything related to the tall man with that flamethrower is Reggie.
Yeah. Reggie is definitely the badass of the franchise.
Oh, yeah.
But so this whole thing ends with we find Mike finding a version of the girl that he's in love with, I think. When they see each other, they start making out right away, but I don't know why he's in love with her, but he is. And she's got
It's the
something
80s.
from...
It's
the 80s.
it's implied. Like it goes back
Yeah.
to the whole like them being weirdly bonded somehow. It's almost like they're, I don't want to use soulmates, sort of like meant to converge in some way, right? But
Psychic mates.
But most of them,
Yeah.
it is another case of like you are meant to assume. Because
Yeah.
there's no character progression or logical lead up to that happening.
No. It's such a weird, like... I'm so on board for the road trip hunting down the tall man, less on board for hunting down Mike's telepathic girlfriend.
Another studio note, though.
Oh, for sure. Like, you can see studio
Yeah.
notes all over this thing. So I get it. I get why it's there, but that's also why I'm like, this one isn't my favorite.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, I see those studio notes, but there's still enough in this for me to love it. Like, to ignore those elements and just love
sure.
it for what it actually is. And
this scene has one of those moments. To me, that's like one of the best moments in all of the Phantasm franchise. The spine monster coming out of that
Yeah.
dead girl. Fucking gross.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
and the voice that, like, you know, the
Yeah.
tall man voice as well. Like, you play a good game, boy. Come east if you dare.
and that was something, I've only seen this one once until, well, now I've seen it twice. But before this, my brain just went, that was a Nightmare on Elm Street. Moving on, like, it just totally took it and just categorized it in a different horror franchise. So I honestly did not remember that from this scene. And when it happened, I'm like, oh, God, that was this movie. Ugh. And that one even got a... Chewie does not swear as much as I do, you know, because she's a better person than me. But that one even got a, ew, what the fuck is that? Out of her. Oh, yeah. That's a good scene. Like, that one, that's what I'm here in this Phantasm 2 for. Stuff like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so
I mean,
moving on.
I love the mortuary design as well. Like, it's like run down. There's blood dripping down. There's the cross as well. That's got the barbed wire around it. It's really cool and creepy as well. It's got that sort of creepiness to it where, you know, when they're the first time you ever see, like, when they're searching, you think, oh fuck, something's gonna jump out. Something's gonna jump out. And I like they didn't have something jump out as well. Like, you know, other horror films would have had, like, you know, a dwarf in there to have like a jump scare. But
Well,
it's just that thing at the end.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to that point I made earlier of like this kind of being the anti-horror franchise of like what do the other horror franchises do? If they zag, we I forget the phrase, but whatever.
Zig.
Zig, there it is.
I mean, you literally got half of it right. You're half of it there. They zag, I don't know what the rest of it is. It's like
I think it's because I started with zag instead of zig. They zig, we zag is the more phrase. You know what? I don't fucking know. Clearly,
this confusion seems in line with the series pretty well. I mean,
I'm losing words, man. Like this franchise. We're only 2 in. I
just can't wait for number 5 where Bryan just like a.
I thought Scream was a great movie. All right, let's keep moving because we haven't gotten to the balls yet. We got to get to those balls. God, how far down are the balls? I'm looking at my notes now. God damn.
Boy, I talked about no context comments.
Yeah.
How far down
are
the balls? Oh boy,
about halfway.
That's in the next mausoleum, right?
Yes,
it's
in the Paragord one, which I will get to that, but the design of that I want to talk about briefly when we get to it as well.
All right. Well, what do we have in between there and this that we can kind of skip because we're hitting every single.
How about picking up a random girl on the road and then having Mike just wait up to be like, "Oh, who's this?"
Oh, you have to understand. On the road, it gets a little hard sometimes.
Yeah, it gets hard on the road.
It's like Reggie had to tell him that with his dick out. Like it's just,
My favorite thing about that is, like, Mike's like, "Oh, do you want to pull over?" And he's like, quite clearly just wants to have a chat with him. And then, so they walk out into the woods, and then Reggie's just like, straight. And there's this look up, like, Mike's just like, he just sort of like has this little head shake.
What are you doing there, Reg?
I mean,
But yeah, no, Reggie's very trusting. He's like, "Ooh, hot girl, side of the road, time to pick her up." And let's be clear, the rest of the franchise, Reggie has a major problem keeping it in his pants.
Sweet.
Reggie's a ladies' man. He might not look it as a former ice cream salesman, but oh yeah, he is the James Bond of the franchise.
He's real cool.
Yeah, he's a ladies' man like Bruce Campbell's a ladies' man in Ash vs. Evil Dead.
But at least Bruce Campbell, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to be too mean to Reggie. I fucking love Reggie.
Reggie's got that cool factor.
Yeah, he just doesn't look like your typical movie star. Whereas Bruce Campbell, you can see like, oh, even if he doesn't look like it right now because he's older, you can see that guy looked like a movie star.
Yeah.
That was never Reggie. Although I love Reggie. So
but
that's what I mean when I don't want to be too mean.
But that's what I love about these first 2 movies so far anyway, is that like the actors are not painted up to look squeaky clean and
no.
Professional actory. They're very human, very normal, very flawed. And that's one of the things I'm liking about this so far.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The
you
rough
can
edges
relate
really
them
bring some
better.
charm. Yeah. But all right. So he picks up the girl. They got to go to the next mausoleum, and then we're pretty much to the ball scene, right? I really want to get to the ball scene. If you can't tell.
I think we're there.
There's the priest like stabbing the corpse at the funeral, and then turns around and the
grandma,
the wife,
the
wife of the corpse is like, it just falls.
I love that priest because he's just trying. Like he knows something's wrong. He's like, maybe if I stab it, that'll help. And it's like, oh, dude, you're so out of your depth.
Yeah,
at least brilliant. You're trying. You're fighting the good fight. And oh, there goes your ear and the rest of you. There.
Yeah.
Oops, see ya.
I mean, grandma's on death's door anyway. It might as well go balls to the wall.
Yeah, why not? But I mean, if you don't know what's going on, if you walked into like the funeral home and you saw the guy who's gonna be doing your funeral stabbing the corpse, I might pass out too, and I'm not an old lady.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because not just some like minor like I just got my pocket knife and I'm gonna stab. It's like I need to do a sacrificial stab on this guy.
Yeah, and like that's the thing. He did that entire ceremony with that massive fucking knife in his jacket. Like I said, it's not a pocket knife. It's like that blade's about 6 inches, 7 inches long.
It's like a knife out of the Expendables. It's like Jesus.
Yeah.
It's just a mini sword.
Yeah. Priest packing heat. Yeah.
But yeah, so we have that scene here, and then we're into the balls, right? We're to the balls.
Yeah,
let's go to the balls because there's 3 balls in this one.
Yep. And one of them's gold.
Which we don't see what the gold one does till far later on. The gold one is mean. It is a mean ball. Like, I thought the silver ones were bad.
The Rambo sphere on set as well.
The gold one?
Yeah.
The gold one is like the thing I remember from part 2. Like, that was like, I had forgotten so much of this movie, and that's probably why I enjoyed the rewatch as much as I did. The gold thing I could not forget, because I just remember, like, how the hell did it, like, worm its way through his body? I mean, we're not there yet. That's the end of the movie, but still, like,
is that the one?
Jesus.
Is that the one that shoots lasers?
Yep.
Yeah, that took me by surprise. I was not expecting lasers.
So, what we just found out is Joel most definitely has not watched a trailer for part 5.
I've been trying to stay purposely ignorant, so you get the candid experience.
Don't watch the trailers until after you've seen the film.
Yeah, especially like because 5 definitely gives away the balls have lasers, but that's the only thing I'll mention because that's how I knew that there was lasers in this movie because I'd seen 5, or I'd seen the trailer for 5. But either way, so yeah, the silver balls in this one still have some new tricks up their sleeve, which was kind of cool. And if you watch. I'm curious to see what Joel saw, because Joel, you watched this on streaming, right?
Yes.
So the version that I watched was excessively violent.
Oh, yes.
Which I had not seen before. The version I watched before, like, the ball jams into the dude's face, then it cuts to the girl who she's like, oh, that looks excessively violent, and I'm so scared now, and then it cuts back and the guy's dead.
No.
Well,
so the original cut, right, this is how crazy it was. The MPA said they could have 7 frames of blood.
Ugh.
So, the ball goes, attaches. He starts screaming. You see a bit of him with sort of reacting as if the blood's pouring out, but there's nothing coming out. It then cuts to the girl who's looking scared. You then get your 7 frames of blood. It then cuts for some reason to the tall man.
Yeah,
looking
like,
all
hey,
sinister, and then
what's
it cuts
up?
to the girl looking like away, and then it cuts to him falling over, and the biggest pile of fucking blood in front of him as well.
So I think that's more or less my experience here. I do remember they did do the part where it stabbed his face, the drill started coming out and started boring into his head, but I don't remember much in the way of blood during all of it.
Oh yeah,
and it's blood, whatever. That part is the worst part. Watching it drill into their head, that's gruesome. Man.
It is so, and it's worse in this one because you get the little bit of the rubber or the plastic or whatever it is on his face that starts flaking when the drill gets there, so it looks like his skin is coming off of his face. It's just brutal.
Yeah.
But and that the first time I saw it, I'm like, yeah, it's still brutal, but it's clearly way noted to hell. And then watching this version was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oi, and it was exactly what I wanted from this scene the first time I saw it. This was exactly what I wanted from it. So it was really nice to actually have it this time because
watching it as well, because this has been rescanned at 4K or something. I'd only ever seen the fully uncut thing as a work print, like a scratchy VHS quality thing. So actually seeing that in full HD from a 4K scan, it's fucking brutal. It's my favorite of the balling scenes of the series, just because of how brutal it is.
I mean, nobody's fighting a ball with a nunchuck is all I'm gonna say.
Well, yeah, but I mean the actual drilling bits.
I don't want to ruin anything more than that one sentence for Joel, but still, it's tough.
I would say this is it's the most horrific one, of the series.
Well, he doesn't piss himself when he's dead, so the first one might still take a little bit of an edge there, but and the first one just because
But the actor playing the priest really fucking sells that it's hurting.
Oh, he really does. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. It is exactly what I want out of a movie like this, and it was glorious. And I'm really, really, really glad I bought that Blu-ray, and I'm glad that everybody online who said don't buy this Blu-ray, it's the wrong version, was wrong, because that worked out really well for me. It was a bit of a gamble when I purchased it.
I think originally there were some that the disc was not the uncut one, and I think Welgo had a disc replacement program, which you could sort of like, you know.
Yeah, and that happens with box sets all the time. Like when I bought the James Bond thing, I had a double up of a movie there. When I just bought the Ghostbusters one, I had a double up of a movie there. Like that happens in these box sets, and most of the time they will send you the new disc. It might take like 9 months to get to you, but they'll send it to you.
I mean, I bought a Doctor Who Blu-ray set, which the artwork was for a completely different set.
Wait, you watch Doctor Who? Do I need to start up? When are you going to start your Doctor Who article again? Like, I'll do it. I've been very nice in not bringing that up, but if you're going to bring up Doctor Who, I will totally start that again. Anyhow.
Shouldn't have said anything. Shouldn't have fucking said anything.
That just made my morning. All right, let's keep moving, though, because right after this is where Mike finally meets up with the love of his life.
Yeah, why is he wearing one of the Gravers masks as well?
My note there is, what's with the gas mask? And you're making out.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the thing that I always wonder. I can't remember if they ever explain it as well. Is that why do the Gravers wear gas masks?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. But I mean, like, all right.
It makes it look creepy, but, you know.
Yeah. But then, so now they have the love of Mike's life. Forgive me, I forgot her name. Then we have the love of Reggie's life because she's the nearest female to him, and they're in their house. And
I mean, I don't think she's the love of his life. I think she's just a good bit of fun.
She's there now.
Yeah.
So they light their fireplace, and then Mike says, if we're doing quotes, this would be my quote of the movie. Because it's I had to write this down to things I feel creeped out just hearing. He's trying to get his girl to go to bed, and he goes, "Come on, I'll watch over you."
My favorite thing is then like when Reggie goes, "And I'll watch over you," and she just starts laughing, and then just like walks over, takes her top off,
Yeah,
throws it at Reggie.
So then, like, we have these two scenes going back and forth. We have the most ridiculous fucking scene of telepathy love, which I've worked on too many movies to not just watch this scene and just laugh hysterically. Like, you guys can't talk, but I need you to emote like you're having a conversation. So just kind of like smile and like nod at each other. Like, just the idea of filming that scene destroys me. I love it so much.
You know, there's a deleted sequence as well where they have sex like in various different environments. So the idea was it's a dream. And they were gonna have sex on like a beach, and then it would suddenly cut to somewhere else, and it would eventually cut to them falling through the air, like literally mid-air having sex, and then they'd wake up or something.
So just eventually they do that in True Blood. So, you know, at least there's that. But the juxtaposition of like, I love you, and then she's talking, but her mouth isn't moving. It's telepathy. Like, it's just the most ridiculous scene. And you have Mike falling in love, and then it just cuts to, and Reggie is fucking. And he's got his pants on, she's got her underwear on, and like, no problems here. And she's just screaming, yeehaw!
And slapping the shit out of him.
Like those scenes going like side to side with each other, that was the funniest thing in the entire movie for me. Like, far and away.
The actress who plays Cammy was like, she was really struggling to be like, you know, why am I attracted to this guy? You know, he's this bald guy. Why would I be attracted to this bald guy?
Hey.
And so she came up with the idea. Well, bear in mind,
I was just waiting for him. Like, I know Joel's gonna have something to say.
You know, bald guys need love too, guys.
Yeah, true. But she basically came up with this idea that her character has a bald fetish, so that's why she kept like slapping his head and everything. Like, but
I love that she figures, all right, I have a bald fetish. What does a woman with a bald fetish do? I have no idea. I guess I'll just slap him.
But apparently, that scene when they shot it took 6 hours to do. And Reggie came out of that off the set looking like he had PTSD or something, and like he had welts all over his head because she was fully slapping him as well, like properly slapping the shit out of him throughout that entire scene.
So funny. And then like right after that, like, so then I don't even remember what happens. I have boom question mark. Like, what stopped them from banging?
Right. So this isn't. I didn't actually know what was supposed to have happened until I watched it with the audio commentary, because even Don Coscarelli says it didn't really work in the end. So the idea is a cat had come in and set off the grenade tripwire, and there's like this thing of blood on the wall. That's supposed to be the remains of the cat that had got blown and splattered against the wall.
Okay.
So that's sort of like distracting. And then they go downstairs, and then obviously, you've got the repeat of the curtain thing.
Yeah.
With the tall man.
Which was fine. Like, I didn't really mind them hitting that one again. That kind of felt like a throwback, not really like reusing. So I'm like, and it worked. It was effective enough.
And then they did it like they extended it out quite a bit as well, because like it makes you think, oh, he's going to be behind one of those. Oh no, he's not. Oh, he's going to be behind. Oh no, he's not. Oh, he's going to be. No, he's not. And then he's there.
Yeah, and then like you get that line of when they have to go save the girl, of Mike kind of doubting himself, and the line just destroyed me. I'm a 19-year-old kid, and you're a 19-year-old kid, and you're a bald middle-aged ex-ice cream vendor. Like, like just such a weird thing to throw out there, and not to mention. I'm a 19-year-old kid. No, you're fucking not. You look at least 30 years old.
I know.
Like, you're a bald middle-aged ice cream vendor. Oh, I buy that.
Yeah. I just love Reggie's response to that as well. Thanks, Mike.
Reggie is the best.
He is so good. He holds this franchise together. I think if like I said, if they had recast Reggie, I honestly probably don't think we'd be talking about this.
No.
Because I think it would have been one really kooky, sort of like creepy, weird, off the wall film, and then one sort of okay-ish sequel in the 80s, and then I don't think that it would have gone any further.
No, in fact, I think Phantasm would live as a cautionary tale of like, don't let studios buy over your horror franchises.
Yeah.
If they had done that, like it would have been like, oh wow, I guess that's how you kill it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now the girl's kidnapped and she's down in like the incinerator room, I guess.
Well, we missed out the car chase.
Oh, I mean, I guess I didn't really take notes.
We're not done with explosions yet.
Well, yeah. I did have the cars fucking explode in Phantasm.
Yeah.
That was the only note I had on the car chase, because the car chase for me was good, but
Hemikudas, do you not know that they're made out of explosives? Do you not know that all the piping is dynamite? It's not.
If I didn't know that before I watched this movie, I sure do now.
Oh yeah. It was a really controversial thing when it came out that they were making these cars out of dynamite. It's crazy.
What do I use for a key? A match? No, a lit match. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seems a little ill-advised with a combustion engine, but who am I to say?
I mean that's why they're classics, and there's not many left of them, because a lot of them just blew up randomly. Have I killed that joke now?
Sure did.
Yes, I think so. But you know where it went now, because when you die, you don't go to heaven, you go to the tall man's. And now the tall man's just like, oh, I hate this joke.
Boy, stop telling that fucking joke.
All right, now the joke is dead. All right. But I will say, like, the car chase was good. It was a fun, entertaining car chase. I feel like I never have a lot of notes on car chases unless they do something wildly different in car chases.
Well,
I can talk about the car chase in like Raid 2 forever, or like the new Batman car chase. I could do hours on that thing. But like this one, it's a car chase.
It gets drowned out by everything around it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not trying in loading the shotgun up there.
Yeah, you do see that. Like, all right, I'm loading it. I'm finally gonna shoot it.
Well, shoot the fucker.
I'm gonna do it. There's a car behind me that could really deal with 4 barrels of hot shotgun action, but no, I'm not gonna. Oh, tall man's gonna pull up right next to me. I'm gonna point this gun at him. I'm gonna shoot it.
I mean,
not yet.
It's a good job he didn't shoot it, because he was like right across Mike's face. The muzzle blast would have taken his face off.
I mean, that's fair, but still.
Am I the only one that
use the gun?
Am I the only one that loves that it kind of failed? Like all this, this teasing up to the idea that it's going to be this cool prop device. He gets into a bind with the chainsaw battle, and then it's like a flag came out and said banged.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just still like, that's what it was used for.
But that's it's subvertive, right? Because you're expecting this awesome action scene, instead it's comedy.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's fair. All right, so that the car chase done. Now we're back. The girl is downstairs. She's gonna get murdered by this guy. I don't really know who he is.
I think he's just one of the tall man's minions.
Sure, yeah. And then she gets off the table because he starts at the very end of this, like, conveyor belt thing, and then he wakes her up and starts sitting on the conveyor belt. She's like, I'm just going to roll off of this because I don't want to go into the fire. And then they have their little tussle there. And then he ends up on the thing, and he just rolls right in.
Yeah. Well, he goes in head first, and we all know.
Still can roll over.
We all know that if you're going down something head first, you don't have the ability to roll.
I feel like you're wrong, and that you should try that out. But the note that I took on this one, which I'm very proud of, that is not how that murderer saw his day going.
And then like the really sort of like burnt, bloody hand just like against the glass.
Yeah, that was a very cool incinerator. Like, like that thing should be turning you to ash in seconds, and he's still conscious. Like, you need to turn it up, buddy.
Tall man's minions can take a lot of flame.
I guess, yeah, and I guess. But then, oh my God, we're so close to the gold ball, guys. I'm so excited to talk about the gold ball. Can you tell my favorite things in this movie? But before that, we do have to go back to another silver ball and just the worst henchman ever. Like the biggest idiot of a guy I think possible. He ends up with a ball in his hand, which has to suck. Like, I'm sorry, guy. Like, that has to be the worst pain ever. It's stabbed in your hand. It's drilling like it wants to get at your brains, but there's no brain in your hand. So what do? What do you do? I would use my other hand and remove the ball. That would be my option. What would you do? Would you take an axe and hack your hand off?
I mean, to be fair, the gold sphere was coming at him. So it was probably quicker for him to just hack his own hand off.
In what world is that quicker?
The Phantasm world. Look, took 2 hacks and he was gone.
Yeah,
that's a very sharp
versus
axe.
1 pull.
He was panicked. He was panicked. He took the object he had and made a very poor decision. And again, trying to claim some sort of logic to this is stupid because there is no logic to it. It is just it's there for the scene in the moment. But like, he would have died from shock before he went very far.
Well, I mean, him chopping his old hand off didn't help him at all. He still gets gold balled to hell.
Yeah.
He had a very bad day as well, I think.
That murderer also didn't see his day going like that.
One could have thought that maybe it's a Final Destination moment where like he escaped death and then he just got worse death.
Oh, yeah. Because that gold ball, that thing's a bitch. So if you haven't watched this movie and you've made it this far in the podcast and you're still just like, maybe I should watch this thing, the gold ball attaches itself somewhere lower in your body. Like, in this poor gentleman, it's in his lower spine.
Yep.
Drills its way into your body and then just starts zigzagging its way there. Remember zigzagging its way through your body, up and out your face.
Yep.
It just turns all of your insides to a puddle and then just exits, or at least attempts to exit out your face.
Yeah, you're basically a human pinball machine at that point.
Yeah. And it sounds awful. The guy looks like he's writhing in pain. It's one of the most horrifying things in these franchises. It's horrible to think about it happening. It's horrible to watch. And all of that happens. And then Mike and his girlfriend are standing there and she's like, come on, Mike, let's go.
Credit to the actor there. Like him writhing and sort of like those pained looks felt believable. Like, props to him.
Like, if you look at his
and the
eyes,
sound design, the sound for all that is just so gnarly that mixed with his reactions, like you buy this guy's having a
well, I was going to mention
moment.
The sound design, because the sound design as well, like the dwarf noises in this is so cool. They're so creepy. Like that opening bit where there's in the opening of the film there's the one on the counter in the kitchen, and Reggie's like going one way, and it just sort of like moves and goes. Like that, I think that's so cool. Like the sound design in this film is incredible.
It's pretty solid.
But like what always gets me in that bit with the gold ball, it's not any of the actual gore itself. It's the look in the guy's eyes as it's moving its way up, and he looks up and he's screaming, and it's like that actor really sold the pain because you can see it in his eyes. I mean, I don't know what they were doing to him to get that reaction. Maybe zapping his balls with electricity or something. But my God.
I gotta touch on one scene after this. I think it's after this. So that ball that was left with the dude's hand, they decide, because they saw 2 slots in a wall earlier where they're just like, they inferred, we need the ball to be able to open this door. It's very video game in that way.
Yes, oh yeah.
And like, they go back and he pries it, Mike pries it from the wall, straight up just hands it off to Reggie. Like, here you go, you get to handle the ball of death.
Well, it's still in the hand, so it's fine.
No, that's not okay.
Well, no, because it's in the hand, it's not trying to kill anybody. I think that's their thought process, because after they take it out of their hand, it starts coming alive, and that's why it's to shove it in the wall so fast.
Yeah.
And then eventually shoves it in the tall man's face. He gets balled. Mm-hmm. Lots of balling in this movie.
I mean, the tagline was, the ball is back.
I mean, that's
So do they just use that loophole throughout the series now? Is that just...
No.
Okay. Nope. That's a bummer.
Nope. Every movie is very much its own thing. Like, I think 1, 3, 4, 5 all feel like they're more of the same franchise than this one does, but they definitely all come with their own flavor of ice cream, if you will. So we're getting near the end of this thing. And I should mention, after the "Come on, Mike, let's go," that's where Chewie pieced out. So she made it pretty far in this one.
She nearly made it to the end.
Yeah, she nearly made it, but yeah, at that point she's like, I think I've seen enough. And then at this point, we were still going to be recording 2 episodes today, so we were supposed to be watching part 3 on Saturday night. And I told Chewie, I'm like, we can watch 3 tomorrow, and she's like, I think I'm going to watch something else. I might have lost Chewie, but we'll see. We'll try again.
I think that Chewie will probably have some notes on certain aspects of 3.
I think she'll like 3 more because it's funnier. I think it'll keep her engaged, but we'll see. But let's finish this one first. So we finally get to the point where it's starting to feel and look a little bit more like the first Phantasm. We find the room full of the barrels. We find the tuning fork again. Like, oh yeah, like this guy is just starting up again in another town. Like, it's just kind of like been the overall theme of the whole movie is like, find what town the tall man's in and then go get him. And it looks like he's making his progress. And the rest of the movie, I kind of just have fun with how insane it is. Like, I fucking love, like, when they start actually fighting the tall man, and, like, you get, like, the suck on this, and they get the ball in his face, and he's just totally unfazed.
Yeah. He just pulls it up and crushes it, and it's just that almost like a happy look on the tall man's face. It's like, you thought that would work.
And then he gets a weird little pincher thing. He gets a horn.
Yeah.
Not only did that unfaze me, I get a bonus upgrade. And what I'm going to do with this pincher thing? Not much. No, but there it is.
I mean, if you soloed a boss, you did a pretty good upgrade too.
Yeah, exactly. That's that's the idea. It is very video gamey.
Apparently, that little pincer thing really creeped out James LeGros as well when they were shooting it. Like,
it is
really
kind of gross looking.
Yeah, and it's like it's right in his
Stephen
face.
King to me. Like, it feels like very like It. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're seeing underneath. There's the monster underneath. Like, okay, I see what you're doing there. It works. It's gross. And then they acid him to hell. They really fuck him up. They embalm him with acid. Hydraulic. What was it? Hydraulic acid.
Hydrochloric.
Hydrochloric.
Hydraulic acid probably isn't a thing.
I was gonna say I don't think you would have hydraulic acid.
It's car acid.
I also like there's the precursor to it where Reggie just decides to pour it into this. So it's a embalming equipment, right? Because it's a huge needle. They've got Liz sort of stuck on it, and he's about to poke her and kill her. And then somehow they unrelease her. It's because the ball attacked him. I forget how it got to that point. But
yeah, so he's about to stick the needle into Liz. Mike gets the ball and goes, suck on this, and lets it go. And it goes into the tall man, sort of like sucks it out, and starts sucking his yellow brain out.
But I think Reggie must have some psychic abilities too. He thought to himself, this could be useful later, and decides to just pour it into this embalming equipment.
Well, I think it was just the fact that he didn't want him to be able to embalm anyone else. So it's like, I'll put this in, and then anyone else he tries to embalm with this fluid, it'll just melt them.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We've never gotten full confirmation that that's how the tall man turns people into things. Like, Reggie's just kind of making a leap there.
Yeah,
he's right, but he is just like, he's never known that. He's just.
I'm sorry. What aren't they making a leap on?
That's a very fair point. All right, no, you dismantled my point. Well done. So that's really it, though. Like, they win, and then they leave, and then we find out, oh, no, you didn't win at all. Nope.
Yeah.
It turns out Reggie's girlfriend has been dead the whole time, which I think we all kind of knew, right?
But it's okay. It's only a dream. It's
No,
only
it's
a
not.
dream. No, it's not.
I had that Thor I knew it moment. Like, I said it out loud. That happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even the first time I watched it, not knowing everything that had come before, I always thought there's something about that character. And I think it goes to like one of the reasons why Don actually cast her, because the original script had the design of that character was blonde, big boobed, but she had the actress had this sort of almost like sinister look about her, and Don really liked that, and he cast her in the role because of that sort of sinister look that she just has.
I mean, and that worked. I mean, it worked to the point of like, it always made me go, I don't really trust her.
Yeah.
So then when she just pulls off a chunk of her head later, I'm like, oh yeah, that was right. But then the Michael and Liz get yanked out a window again, and then we have the no, it's not, and all that, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then you got the theme.
Yep.
The really good rendition of the theme.
It sure is a rendition of it.
There is this moment that I don't want to gloss over, where before she's revealed as a dead person or monster or whatever, like they're in this, it's a hearse, right? And there's the window, and like start closing the window, and Reggie has this like, oh yeah, mom.
Yeah, while she's driving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reggie, keep it in your pants. Oh boy. All right, that's the movie. We did it. It took us a little bit less time than the movie itself. I feel pretty good about it, though. I feel like we need to move into our favorite moments.
Yeah.
What would you say, like, a favorite moment from this thing is tough? And I can go first because I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a trend throughout these movies. My favorite moment has to be the gold ball sequence. Like, it's just so goddamn effective. And, like, it's one of the most effective things in the franchise in my mind. Like, that ball is just gross and mean and awful and exactly what I want to watch. I did like having the proper silver ball sequence in this version that I watched, and it was far better than I remember it, because it's better. But I still think that gold ball sequence, just between the sound effects, the guys acting, the actual practical effects of it, all of it is just so good. Like when you see it coming out his neck and his neck starts doing like that bullfrog swell, like it's like Jesus. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it is one of the it is incredibly effective.
Yeah.
And I think part of what sells that more than the gross out effects of it is the actor's performance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. It's so good. Matt, I'm gonna let you go last because this one's your favorite. So Joel, what's your favorite moment?
House explosion.
Which one?
Yes.
I mean, it's the same one, but which one?
Just, I think we covered it plenty, but house explosion.
We did.
That's the thing I will always remember the most about Phantasm, too.
Boom.
It's a big explosion.
It's been 5 minutes since we saw that explosion. I think we need to see it again. Boom. It's a solid choice, Joel. Matt, what about you?
I mean, like, the ball sequences are always going to be really high up. So instead of just, like, saying the same for everything, I'll go with my favorite line. And it's one of my favorite lines from the Tall Man of all time. And it is, you think that when you die, you go to heaven. You come to us. But then I was also on the fence between that and the bit where he grabs Liz and goes, hello again, and goodbye.
He throws her. I can't believe we glossed
Yeah.
over that moment. Does he just complete ragdoll?
Oh my God! He just takes a stuffed person and chucks it across the room.
It's just the glee in his voice as well. It's like the first time that we've seen the Tall Man really sort of looking animated as well and like happy. He's like, hello again, and goodbye.
And how is she okay at that? But whatever.
That first line is
but
very good. I was surprised by how much he talked this movie.
He does talk, I think, more in 4. I think 4 is the one he talks the most.
Yeah, so
because the 4 is the one that's about the history of him, right?
Yeah, there's like we get more of the backstory of the Tall Man in 4. There's a special feature on the Blu-ray that I've got anyway, where it's actually Angus Scrimm at a convention, and if it's on the one that you've got, Brian, I'd really recommend checking it out because it's brilliant. He's like he keeps going into characters, the Tall Man, but he actually talks about like the lines of dialogue in between the first 2 films. I think he's got like 12 lines of dialogue in the second one, as opposed to the 6 in the first one.
Well, that is more.
Yeah.
But before we get totally out of this and we start wrapping up, I just want to throw out, because your favorite quote, I think it needs to be mentioned. The line before it is delivered so fucking badass.
Yeah.
And it's that priest, and I had it written down. Where did it go? Oh, he just looks at the guy, and just like you can just see the conviction in this guy's face, and the actor just sells it. Who are you to question God's servants? It's like, Jesus, that guy sold the hell out of that line.
He was a great actor. Like I've seen him in a lot of things. He's one of these actors who sort of shows up in a lot of things. He's in a couple of the Lethal Weapon films in very small roles.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. No. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a really good sort of like character actor.
And like such a ridiculous movie for this guy to just put all that talent into. Like, this sequence is just not where you need to be working this hard, man. But thank you for doing it. All right, I think we've done it. I think we should move into plugs real quick, then we can say goodbye. If you couldn't tell, I think all the Phantasm episodes might be a little bit longer than your average Binge Buddy affair, but I think we're right to do that because there's so much to dive into as well as the movie. Kind of hinted at it last week, and this week I think kind of solidified that. But that's good.
I mean, I don't mind them being longer,
I think when the content's worth it, I think it's worth it. And
exactly.
Phantasm is nuts enough that if we just try to jam this into half an hour, I think we'd be doing everybody a disservice. So I think
exactly.
We made the right call.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer the 2-hour cut of Justice League or the 4-hour cut?
Oh, that's just me. Because I've seen both, and one of them is, oof, and the other is, this is so good. All right, so yeah, there's our housekeeping. We'll do a very quick round of plugs for this show and all the other show on the ATH network, as the rest of them have all hit some version of a hiatus. Check out athpod.com, where you can watch this and Demon Days. We will eventually be bringing back After the Hype in some version, be it Attack the Hype, Behind the Hype, something like that. We'll be bringing that back in September. I'm not sure about Damage Boost. Brock needs some time, so he's taking a little bit of a break. He intends to come back, but I don't know when that's going to happen. But hopefully that comes back, and if not, it was a fucking great show. So, just go back and listen to it, because Brock crushed it with that thing. I think that's it for ATH. Joel, what you plugging?
So, Super GG Radio is a video game podcast, mostly checking out pre-release stuff and trying to find the good stuff you should focus on too, and playing our backlog. Also have a podcast called Afterthoughts with my wife Telly, where we read books that aren't Dune. And I think that's about it today.
Okay, that needs to be your new plug for that podcast every single time. We read books that aren't Dune.
I was so unprepared for it. I had this joke lined up ready to go. I'm like, oh, that's your Dune podcast, right? And then no, you stampled all over that one.
It was just the way it was so quick, because I had to replay that in my head. It's like, wait a minute. What? Did he just say what I think he said?
God damn it. They're never going to cover Dune, are they?
It's going to be like The Shotgun. I'm going to keep on teasing it, and then it's just going to peter out and never happen.
You're going to keep teasing it, and then you're going to release a 5-minute, we read Dune. It was okay. That's it. Damn it. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been so much fun. Oh, I know you want anything to plug. What's the point of asking you not to plug something?
I actually have something to plug. Kind of. So
if this is a joke, I'm going to be so annoyed.
No, I've actually started writing an article. I'm part way through it at the moment, but yeah, I'm trying to get back into the article writing, and I'm currently writing an article about airsoft, because I've been doing that quite a lot lately. I'm back into it, absolutely loving it. So I thought, I'll write about it. So at the moment, I'm just kind of doing It might be a few. I might actually break it up into a few separate articles because I'm sort of at the moment doing about like the history of airsoft, like how it started and things like that. And then a part of it as well is going to be me talking about like almost like going through a day at a normal airsoft game, like you just like a random like a skirmish day.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And yeah, so depending on how it comes out, it might be one or it might be two. But yeah, it's working so far. Like when I have been sitting down and writing it, it's sort of like flowing a little bit. So yeah, hopefully I'll be back into article writing in some shape or form more often than once a year.
I've also started an article on Batman, and we're going to see how far I actually take it, because it started as a review for the Batman, and then it's quickly exploded beyond that, and I'll see if I keep writing it.
Are you doing a deep dive into the whole series of Batman since the beginning?
More so of a deep dive of my personal journey with Batman.
Oh, that sounds quite cool, actually.
Yeah, like there's like I could go into like the history of Batman, but that's been done before. So I'm more like, let's go like a fan's take on Batman. So we'll see. I'm working on it. It's very, very loose idea right now. But I think we did it. We
did have an actual plug, not a stupid joke. Yeah.
I got to figure out how to take that and make that more into a joke. We'll figure it out.
Let's make this episode longer.
Yes, let's keep doing it. Let's keep going. No, all right. Thank you everyone so much for listening. We will see you next week with Phantasm 3. I forget the Lord of the
Dead, I think.
I was going to say Lord of the Dance. I knew that was wrong. All right. Bye.
It's a very different...